His MVP. Goal swung, right field. Forget about it. Rangers strike first. Goes after the first one. Drills a high fly ball. Left center field. This game is tied. From Javier. Seager hits a high fly ball. Deep right field. A bomb into first. One swing. Drive. It's tied. Seager smashes the ball. Down line. Goodbye. Now Seager to right center field. Way back there. Gone again. Corey Seager does it again. It's Texas Rangers win the World Series. The Willie Mays Most Valuable Player Trophy presented by Chevrolet. Is there any doubt? Corey Seager.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of Right on Rangers Live, coming at you promptly after a Dak interception should end the Cowboys' chances on this glorious, or lack thereof, Sunday afternoon. Offense has been terrible today. I know everybody's going to lock in on the defense. I'm sorry. The offense has been bad today, and for the number one offense in football, You've just left so many points on the board today, and you've just put your defense in terrible spots. We're going to talk about plenty of them, but I just don't understand. If you're going to trash the defense today, I think almost nearly every single set of points, maybe save a couple of the touchdowns, almost directly on the offense. The points just before halftime, ridiculous that the offense even allowed Denver to get the ball back before the half. And you have a couple other big moments in there too. Offense going 3 and out, putting the defense right back on the field. Not scoring early in the game, having to go field goal when you had first and goal from the 1 yard line. I mean, I could go on, and I will go on. We'll get to plenty of that and more. We'll get to all your comments and all your questions. Look, rain or shine. That's what I always say, rain or shine. We're here. Not a great day to be on a live for the Dallas Cowboys, but here we are, and we're going to get through this one. Cowboys are going to have to flush this one and get ready for Arizona here in a second. I just hate that it's always got to be like this with Dallas. You know, not to at all go along with some of the cliche or prototypical Cowboys fans that after a big win against Washington, think we're going to be doing something specialer than what we've really known all along. This Cowboys team isn't terrible, but they are not a team that at this point is destined for any type of greatness with the kind of defense that they have. Could they make it to the playoffs? Yeah, I think that is absolutely a possibility. Do they, or have they, I should say, ever looked like a Super Bowl team this year? No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think one thing that, and just to circle back to my original point, one thing that has frustrated me over the years, it's really the same story in all of the Dak-led offenses and all of the Dak-led Cowboys teams in general. You just can't win the big game, man. You just can't win the big game. This happens almost every year, and I'm not saying we've never been able to, but you just can't win the big one when it really matters. You can't go in, for example, the last couple of years, you can't go into San Francisco on a night game and get a win. You can't go to Denver on the road and get a win. You can't go to Philly opening night and get a win. It's just these big games keep coming up. And this one wasn't really particularly close. Felt like it could have been a lot closer. But this one was never particularly close. And once again, this to me doesn't come off as, all on the defense. I mean, the offense put up 17 points and probably left double-digit points on the table. They just throw an interception there in the red zone. You can't score from first and goal from the 1, and you got to settle for 3 to make it 3-0 early on. You could have put up points before the half. Instead, you throw an interception. I mean, there's a number of things that the Cowboys did today offensively that directly led to points being scored on the other side, or just to us leaving those points right there on the table. It's ridiculous. Look, I got to be honest with you. Did I expect the Cowboys to come up here and dominate in Denver? No. And I said as much. If you were watching the show last week, never at any point did I say, I feel like this is going to be an easy one. I feel like the Cowboys got this. I said this is going to be a tough one. And if you go wide lens, if you go wide perspective here, the Cowboys, I think in this stretch of games that they're in, you've got Arizona coming up. You've got the Raiders coming up. You know, the sky isn't falling. You've got two pretty winnable games coming up back to back. You should beat the Cardinals at home, and you should beat the Raiders here in Las Vegas. No excuse. I mean, look, I will say sky is falling if you lose those two games. The Cowboys have had some trouble with the Cardinals over the years, but you should beat the Cardinals. And you definitely should beat the Raiders with the state of that franchise right now. So my point is the season over with a loss like this? No. You could very easily be 5-4-1 after you play the Cardinals and after you play the Raiders. I think that is very realistic. But it just is oh so frustrating that year after year, you have these big-time games come up. Again, the ones that stick out in my mind the most are the San Francisco games. You go into San Francisco, Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, whatever it's been, and you get blown out. And it just happens way too often with these Dak-led teams. And I'm not putting it on Dak today. I don't think Dak was particularly great today at all. He's thrown a couple of interceptions, a couple of bad interceptions, honestly. I know on that last one, the receiver falls down. I still don't think that pass was very well thrown. He had a ball to Turpin on a big third down earlier on, or later on, I should say, in the third quarter. Not good throws. Dak just hasn't been sharp today. He has not been sharp today. And so, yes, it's on Dak. The defense has been pretty bad, but this game could be a lot closer if the offense could put together some drives. And that just hasn't happened today. All right. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Dak did get outplayed by Knicks today, 100%. I don't think you can deny that. Back to the same old Dak. Yeah. I mean, in terms of big games and coming up short, 100%. I'll take you guys' comments and questions along the way. We'll definitely make sure that we get through everything of substance. Appreciate you guys. Go Birds. Hey, look, y'all finally beat the Giants. Congratulations. You finally beat the Giants. It took a Cam Scattaboo injury, but you got there. This Cowboys secondary, man, they are depleted, first of all, as you get a flag here. Another DPI. This is such a depleted secondary. Diggs, I kind of wonder if Trayvon Diggs has played his last snap as a Dallas Cowboy. I really wonder if that's going to be the case here. But the Cowboys are down to two safeties. Elijah Clark goes down with a rib injury earlier on in this one. Bell getting flagged for the DPI there. This is a bad secondary. And look, Diggs has not been playing particularly well this year. He had the big play against Green Bay in overtime to save a touchdown or at least save a first down. But beyond that, Diggs has not been anything special this year. But look, I'd rather have Diggs out there than what we're trotting out at this point. I don't think Diggs makes a difference in this game where the Cowboys win, but it just, again, goes along with the point. This is a secondary that already needed some help, and now you're adding in all these injuries to it. It's just a recipe for disaster. Poorly coached defense, maybe, but they're not working with a full deck here. Look, I don't think Eberflus has been great, but you're not working with a full deck right now. And so it's hard for me to come down hard on the coach in a game like this where you're down to your two last safeties on the roster. I think if Eberflus had all of his weapons, 100% you'd be able to say that. By the way, I mean, we talk about Eberflus a lot. This was not a great defense on paper to begin with. Can we all agree? Did anybody coming into the season think that this defense was awesome on paper? We got another flag? That did not seem like I think it's going to get flagged on Elam here. I'd have to see the replay. That did not even look that bad. It doesn't matter right now. It really doesn't. Disappointed in my team. I hope we can learn from this one too. Look, here's my glass half full perspective, which y'all can always count on from me. You're playing the Cardinals and the Raiders next. Are you taking those teams for granted? No. Any given Sunday, as I always like to say. But you should beat the Cardinals at home, and you should beat the Raiders at Allegiant here in Las Vegas. I don't think there's any excuse for losing those two games. I think you can stomach losing in Denver to a 5-2 Broncos, very well coached Sean Payton team. I don't think you can stomach a Cardinals loss at home or a Vegas loss on the road. Broncos are a good team. They're a great team. I'm shocked that they had to go toe-to-toe with the New York Giants, Scatterboo and Dart, regardless of them. I'm still shocked. That might have been the wake-up call. That might have been the wake-up call because you know Sean Payton had fun with that one in practice this last week. 3rd and goal right here. I mean, look, anything can happen. This one, for all intents and purposes, is over. But if you get a stop here, I mean, I don't know. Maybe stranger things have happened, but this one's pretty much over. It gets tough after the Raiders, 100%. No illusions about the Cowboys schedule after they play in Las Vegas, but at least you've got, and this one seals it right now, Harvey touchdown here, 44-17. And at this point, you got to put in Milton. I don't think there's any question. You don't need to send Dak back out here. Maybe they will. I know Dak never likes to get benched, but this one's over. Overshown should bring some hope back to our defense. Stopping the run, 100%, I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. Stopping the run, I think will be huge to have Overshown back. Overshown's not going to fix this secondary, though. This is a bad secondary. You're injury-riddled already. I know that a lot of people have put a lot of heat on Matt Eberflus. I don't think Eberflus has done great this year as Cowboys defensive coordinator. I will say this. It wasn't a great defense on paper coming into the season. It got worse when they traded Micah Parsons, and I'm okay with the Micah Parsons trade, but I don't think there's any denying it. The defense got a little worse when Parsons left, and then you had a lot of injuries in the secondary. It's just a recipe for disaster. I don't think we're putting Matt Eberflus in a great spot, but no, I don't think he's called an outstanding defense this year. But if I'm being real, I don't think he was ever really working with a full deck. Tony Romo is the greatest athlete let me see what it says, in any sport in the history of the universe. I do love me some Romo. I will say that. I do love me some Romo. We need Crosby. That could be an interesting move. That could be an interesting move. User 131, fire Eberflus today. I edited that a little bit, my guy, but I hear you. I hear you. It has not been a great stretch for Matt Eberflus in terms of fortune and luck with the injuries, but like I said, I've had my doubts coming into this game how well his system has been working. I think it's a little bit of both, for sure. I don't think you can blame this exclusively on Eberflus. I mean, here's my question that I've always thrown back to you guys that are really strong on fire Eberflus. Is any coach going to come in and help this defense play better? I got to be honest, I don't think so. I don't think there's a whole lot of other defensive coaches that are going to take this secondary and make it elite. Maybe you could argue marginally we could get better, but this roster has some deficiencies. I don't think there's any way around it. Could Eberflus be doing better with what he has? Maybe. Is anybody else going to come in, take this defense and turn it into a juggernaut? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We definitely need additions. That Dad, good to see you. We need additions. And look, I don't think Eberflus is probably going to survive the season if this continues. I really doubt they fire him mid-season. Just not really the Cowboy style, is it? I mean, it's not really the Cowboy style to fire in season. Anything can happen. Jimbo, enjoy the dub, man. Gabe, glad you guys finally beat the Giants, man. A Cam Scatterboolish Giants. That's what it took for y'all to win today. Congrats. Look, I think it's Ray, I think it might be a consideration at the end of the season, but you know how the Cowboys work, man. They really don't fire coaches in season. They really don't. Bo Nix, 4 tutties on the day, 247 yards through the air. Man, it was pretty much all positives for Bo Nix after that interception. Turpin, man, look, he has definitely not had his best day either. Big drop on third down. I know the throw wasn't great from Dak a couple series ago, but Turpin, man, not his best day. Really, for the entire Cowboys roster, not the best day. I think you can say that just about every player. Yeah, at least the Longhorns won yesterday. That is true. James, look, I'm always going to go with this. I want to read this comment. TikTok, I know y'all can't see the YouTube comments, but I will always agree with this. It's always on the players, more so than the coaches, in my opinion. We can agree to disagree on that. You're never going to convince me that it's more coaching than players. The coaches cannot play on the field. And at this level, you're the NFL, man. This is the highest level of football you can play. I get coaching matters. I'm a coach myself. I can appreciate good coaching. But at the end of the day, coaches can only do so much, man. They cannot play the game for these players. So I'm always going to go to the players first. Is it fair to critique the coaches so far? Yes, absolutely. Matt Eberflus deserves some criticism, 100%. But he can't play for these guys. He can't wrap up. He can't read the quarterback and read where the play is going. It's hard. It's hard for me to get totally on board with the people that aren't going to talk about any of the defenders that have not been playing that well for the Cowboys this year. But, you know, they want to beat the drum about firing Eberflus. And that's not any shots at y'all. I mean, look, you got only so many characters to comment, but look, it's definitely for me more on the players than the coaches, always. Coaches can't play this game for these guys. You're a professional football player, man. And I don't think there's any doubt that this defense individually could be playing better. We keep rolling. Tommy, not a ton. I did watch a little bit here and there of game one, but not a ton, man. I've had a few different things going on. Just haven't been able to sit down and watch a bunch. I know some people are really surprised sometimes because obviously for those of y'all that have been around the show for a while, big baseball guy, Rangers content, pretty much all baseball season long. But, you know, I got to be honest, it's not must-see TV for me when my team's not in it. Do I enjoy watching the postseason and the World Series? 100%. And I watch the replays and the recaps, and I read all the articles. But in terms of sitting down and watching the whole game, yeah, if it works out, right? If it works out, I will. I'll probably watch as the series gets a little deeper. That's usually how it goes with me. Keep going. Defense is bad. Absolutely, he's bad. Oh, George Pickens absolutely has been fire this year. Yeah, Bo Nix, this is a good point, Ray. He has had all day to throw it. He's had all day, man. Zay Zen, I'm with you, man. At least the Horns won. Brian, absolutely bad roster construction on defense. Cherry's all in is different than my all in. I think a lot of people said that. Scotty, too, appreciate it, man. These guys are professionals. I mean, look, I don't understand. Great catch by Tolbert, by the way. Outstanding throw and catch. Milton to Tolbert. Look, it's not going to matter for the final result, but that is hell of a throw and catch. That's outstanding. Good stuff from Milton. Is that the first? It's probably got to be the first of his career, isn't it? Good for him. Look, at least a small positive here. Great catch by Tolbert, too, over the shoulder. Too little, too late, man. Ray, I'm with you. I'm with you. Did he not get the foot down? That one's tough, man. He might not have got the foot down. Jeez. One. It's close. It's close. They're letting it ride right now. Appreciate all you guys. Start Milton. Milton is better than Dak. Oh my gosh. I know y'all are joking. I know y'all are having fun, but look, I wish we could have seen a whole lot more of that earlier on in this game. I'll say that. What is up with the backups coming in and just making it look easy on my football teams? I know, man. Matt Caldwell comes in ice cold, slinging it last night. Game-winning touchdown in overtime to beat Mississippi State. Milton just dotting up Tolbert. Crazy. Yeah, they keep showing this replay. I mean, I think they're giving him that first foot down when he first caught it. But I don't know. At this point, I feel like they're spending an awful lot of time. I know at this point, I don't even think this matters for the spread. The game's still crazy far apart, and the over, I think, already hit. So I don't really feel like this is that big of a deal or that controversial. 24-44 here. No onside kick? What are we doing here? No onside kick, down 20 with 4 minutes left. Come on now. All right, here we go. A little return out to about the 29-yard line. Let's just get out of town here. Come on, guys. Let's get out of town here. Yeah, look, Brian, I'm with you. It is a good point. Look, I'll admit, and this is a broader discussion, but just all the catch rules. The catch and the definition of a catch has just been so wild to me. The discussion, all the changes. Like I said, this might be a discussion for a bigger day, but geez. Dak benched? Nah. Do I wear, what is this? Do I wear the same shirt and hat for every different team watch along? No, I don't. I think last week I wore the old school Cowboys hoodie, man. But I mean, I do have a laundry machine. I mean, I do wash my clothes. I want y'all to know that. I do have a week in between these things. So if there is some carryover, be assured we're not just grabbing the same shirt out of the dirty clothes hamper, man. We do like to use that washer here and there. Look, I love this hat. You're probably always going to see me wearing this hat. This is my favorite hat. Some of y'all know who have been following for the past few years. My brother's in the Army. So military, real big on all the salute to service, military appreciation stuff that all the leagues put out. And I've had other families served in the armed forces as well. So definitely appreciate everyone that serves our country in that way. So you're always going to see me wearing this hat. It's going to be rare when I wear a different hat, honestly. Some of the salute to service hats that have come out since, I've been a little on the fence with, but I love this one. It's great. Kay, appreciate you. Appreciate you, man. Refs were trying to help our Cowboys. Sorry it didn't work out. Oh, my gosh. I mean, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that the Cowboys have been aided crazy by the referees today. I'd like to see what the difference is or what the side-by-side is with the penalties. I'll check it out. What do we got for penalties here? Let's check it. It doesn't show me on Fox. I'd have to go nope. I'd have to go on to ESPN. And I don't feel like doing that right now. I'd be curious though, what is the penalty difference today? Bo Nix on the front page of ESPN. Hate to see it. Hate to see it. At least it's not the Chiefs. At least it's not the Chiefs, man. At least it's somebody different. But I hate that it's at the expense of my Cowboys. All right, now we got ESPN up here. We get the more advanced stats. Let's check it. All right, so today the penalties, Cowboys had 104 yards. Actually, no. 80 yards, in penalties. Cowboys were penalized more than the Broncos. What a stupid argument. Cowboys were penalized more than the Broncos today and for more yards. Cowboys had 9 penalties for 80 yards. Broncos had 7 for 42. What a lame opinion. Refs helped the Cowboys today. Okay. You can't help some people. You just can't. When Jerry dies, I'm throwing a party. You're wrong for that, man. You're wrong for that. I can't hope for anybody to die, but I'll say this. I wish the Cowboys would get somebody new at the helm. Let me just put it that way. I'd like to see Jerry Jones not die, but I'd like to see him give it up. Okay, Dallas defense forcing a punt. What's gotten into them? What's gotten into this Dallas defense forcing punts? Are we going to put Dak and the starters back in the game? Appreciate the follows, man. Freakzilla, yeah, I mean, I've been saying that, and so many Cowboys fans have. This isn't any kind of new take, but look, unfortunately, when Jerry, whenever he leaves, retires, passes away, I mean, look, fill in the blank, it's just going to be Stephen Jones taking over. And I think most of us know Stephen Jones is responsible for a lot of these moves. Jerry is the mouthpiece. He's the guy they trot out there. But Stephen Jones, I think, is making a ton of these moves. I don't think this is Jerry. I mean, not at least in majority. I think it's actually in majority it's Stephen. Jerry, I'm sure, still gets his 2 cents in, but I don't know. Everybody that's assuming it's going to change when Jerry passes on or retires, Stephen's just going to still be there, man. I don't see him giving it up either. Opinion of Jaden Blue. I like Jaden Blue, but I'm biased. Of course I like Jaden Blue. Former Texas Longhorns running back. And Blue today, just give you the stat line here. He was 8 for 29, averaged 3.6 yards a carry, had a long run of 14. I'm a fan. Did he have any out of the backfield? Nope, did not have any catches out of the backfield. Look, Ferguson getting 0 catches today. I'm just looking through the box score right now. Ferguson getting 0 catches today. And they were covering it. Like all of the little outs that they like to do to Fergie, they were covering it. They were not letting Fergie get into those flats and turn upfield. They were taking that away pretty much all day long. But Fergie, no catches today is wild. 1 target. I just don't think that can happen. 1 target today. What do we got? Stop making excuses. I mean, look, anything new, any new comments? Y'all just say the same thing over and over again. Come on now. What's the excuse? By the way, I'm just curious. I think people just have that one on copy and paste. What's the excuse? What excuse have I made? Or am I just reading what actually happened in the game? Come on now. JJ, good to see you, man. Wish you could be under better circumstances. Y'all threw in the towel too early? I don't know that we threw in the towel ever, man. We just didn't get it done today. Dak 19 for 31, 2 picks, no interception. 2 picks, no touchdowns. Just didn't get it done today. Thanksgiving is going to be fun for Chiefs fans. Maybe. Never know. Defense couldn't stop a college team. You know, with all the injuries, I might be a little more apt to lean your way, but I still say nah. Rangers for life, 100%. Cowboys and Rangers, man, they're breaking some DFW sports fans' hearts this year. That's for sure. Yeah, the big games, man, the big games, it just continues to be an issue in the Dak era. And I don't say that to put this entire loss on Dak Prescott, but these big games just have always been an issue in the Dak era. It's not even specific to a coach. It doesn't matter, man. It could be McCarthy, it could be Shoddy, it could be Jason Garrett. It doesn't matter. In the Dak era, these big games just have gone the other way more often than not. I mean, I think we all remember back in 2016, Dak's first year, Dak and Zeke going to Pittsburgh, beat the Steelers. I mean, look, has it happened? Sure. But is it consistent? No, it's not. The big games have always been an issue. Imagine losing to the Bears. Look, I think there's been a number of teams that have lost to the Bears this year. Oh, man, they're showing this old classic Romo and Peyton Manning. I remember watching this game. This was a fun game, man. Talk about no defense. Go watch the highlights of this Denver-Dallas game. Romo threw that interception at the very end. Cowboys actually had a chance to win it. That one hurt, man. Cowboys had a real chance to win that game. All right, Milton under center. They're just handing it off, trying to get out of here. The Jerry era or the post-Jimmy Johnson era. I mean, I guess then there's that. Look, Romo in his era, he struggled to win the big game as well. So maybe that's right. But if we're just going to get it specific to Dak, to this era, I would say, yeah, by and large, it hasn't been great. Dak just has not been able to get over the hump playing some of these big teams on the road. Again, you think about the Niners games over the past couple of years, never was able to get a win in those spots, playoffs or regular season. Shoot, the game in Green Bay that they coughed up. Wasn't that last year? They were up like 2 or 3 scores late in Green Bay. Green Bay comes back and wins. I think that was, a couple years ago? It doesn't matter. Just there has not been enough winning in big game spots in the regular season. Look, Cowboys, we already said it, but I know we got people coming in at different times. You got 2 games coming up that are very, very winnable. You've got the Cardinals. You've got the Raiders. I don't think anybody's taking either one of those teams for granted. In fact, the Cowboys have struggled against the Cardinals, it feels like, over the past several years. But those are 2 games that you absolutely could and should win. You should beat the Cardinals at home, and you should beat the Vegas Raiders in Las Vegas. Monday Night Football, I believe. Those have got to be wins. So Cowboys could, in the next 3 weeks, I know they got the bye week worked in there, but the Cowboys could easily be 5-4-1. I don't see any reason why not. 5-4-1 after the next couple of weeks. After that, it gets significantly tougher. You're looking at the schedule right now. It gets significantly tougher after that. But you got the Cardinals, then you got the bye week, then you got the Raiders, then you have the rematch with the Eagles, and then the Chiefs. Short week, short turnaround there. Eagles, Chiefs, Lions is going to be a gauntlet. That will be a gauntlet. You got to win against the Cardinals and Raiders, man. And if you can get a win at home against the Eagles, that would be huge. Because then you go into Chiefs and Lions back-to-back. That's going to be tough. Unnecessary fourth quarter, 100%. 1,000%. Evan Grant reporting 5 years and $125 million to Schwarber. I'll believe it when the ink dries on the contract, man. I don't see the Rangers getting Schwarber, but that sure would be nice. I need a new team. Woo! Thoughts on the Aggies? Legit. I don't like to say that out loud being a Longhorns fan, but it's hard to deny the Aggies have got a squad this year. 100%. Fire Eberflus. I think that is going to get pretty loud, but when he doesn't have a full deck, when you got all the injuries, it's instant built-in excuse. So I don't see them doing anything with Eberflus. The Cowboys, guys on the field, the defense, the players, they got to play better. We cannot just brainlessly keep blaming Matt Eberflus. The defense as a whole is not playing well, and that's not just on Matt Eberflus. These guys, even when you're having them play one-on-one, because I think that's the big knock, right? Eberflus playing all the zone. Even when they've gone one-on-one, there's still guys getting beat. I don't know. I mean, I think Eberflus is the low-hanging fruit. I think you got to face the reality. There are some deficiencies talent-wise on this defense. Period. I don't think that there's anybody that would come in and magically cure this defense and make them tolerable or even make them into an above-average defense. I think this might turn into better than the last defense in the NFL, the worst defense in the NFL. But I don't have any illusions that somebody else is going to come in, take this exact defense as it is right now in terms of player construction and make it into a juggernaut. Come on now. Only one I can think of is Overshown. Overshown would help. Overshown would help. But again, he's going to help better in the running game. Which, look, the running game was bad today. You shut down the Broncos' running game. Bo Nix maybe has a little bit of a tougher time. Overshown is definitely going to help in the pass rush game and in the run game. And look, he can cover a little bit. But until you get a better secondary, what you saw today is going to keep happening. What injuries? Are we serious? Lonnie, come on now. Are we serious? What injuries? Wilson. I mean, Diggs is going to be better than what we have right now. I'm sorry. As much as Cowboys fans trash on Trey Diggs, he's better than what's out there right now. He is. I mean, look, Deron Bland, I'll give Deron Bland being over Diggs at this point. What we have out there right now is not better than Diggs. And I hate to say that because, look, Diggs has not played great. He hasn't played great at all this year, minus maybe a couple of plays in the Green Bay game. But a healthy Trey Diggs is better than what we have out there right now. And then Overshown is a huge injury. That's a huge injury. Overshown, I know it's been a while. Maybe we're forgetting the impact that Overshown had when healthy. Dude's got to be one of the fastest linebackers, interior linebackers in the game. He is going to help the running. He's going to help the run game a lot. I'm excited to have him back. The secondary is the big issue here. Secondary is the huge issue here. Do we even have a defensive coordinator? Shoddy should just take over completely. Well, that ain't going to happen. Bro already's got his hands full calling plays. But I do think they'll reevaluate at the end of the season. Never really been the Cowboys style to fire in season. So we can talk about it all day long, but I don't think they're going to do it. Aaron, good game for you. Not a good game for the boys. Not a good game. Gardner Johnson, Gary, good to see you, my guy. Appreciate you as always, my friend. Gardner Johnson, yeah, look, I would sign anybody at this point. I mean, they're going to have to, if there's significant injuries, they're going to have to go out and get somebody. Ain't never been this mad at the Cowboys defense. I don't know, man. We have seen some bad Cowboys defenses in the past. I can't say never. Keep going. Brian, this is hilarious, man. Couldn't agree more. 427 yards today. Yeah, you can't win like that. We keep rolling. Definitely need speed at the second level. Linebackers seem slow out there. I do think, Brian, that Overshown is going to help with that. Like, Overshown is absolutely going to help with the speed. That dude, I mean, shoots out like a cannonball out of cannon. He does. He's one of the fastest linebackers in the league when healthy. And so I do think Overshown is going to make a difference. But how big of a difference? I don't know. And if this secondary continues to get torched like it has, I don't know how big of an impact Overshown's really going to be able to have. Tank this year and compete next year, Richie, it's a consideration, but I don't think they're going to do it. You know, you've got Dak. You're paying all this money. I mean, he didn't have a great game today, but he's having a pretty good year. I just do not think they are going to start tanking. It would have to get really bad, and then I think maybe they'd consider it. But you're going to play to win against the Cardinals. You're going to play to win against the Raiders. They're probably going to be 5-4-1, everything ahead of them. Right? You're sitting 5-4-1. You're in a pretty good position. 5-4-1, not bad at all. But you do have a tough schedule coming up after that. You got Eagles, you got Chiefs, you got Lions. They could potentially be 5-7-1 after those 3 games. I think if you do not make it through that gauntlet, maybe you start considering it then. But even at that point, you're 5-7-1. You still got games against the Giants. You still got games against the Commanders. And I'm not saying that those teams are for sure wins. I think the Commanders at full strength are definitely going to give us a better game, especially in DC. But I don't think the Cowboys are going to quit on this year. Much to some of y'all's chagrin, I don't think that you are going to see the Cowboys quit on this year. Don't be surprised if we lose to the Cards. They've obviously gotten some wins off of us. Kyler Murray does not lose in AT&T Stadium. Now, I know he's dealing with some injuries, but we did say earlier in the show, I'm not taking anything for granted. Just like, obviously I know some of y'all weren't around yesterday, but we covered the Longhorns here for college football on the show. I didn't have any assumptions going into Starkville that the Longhorns were going to go in and blow them out. In fact, it was a game where I wouldn't have been shocked if they would have lost, and they almost did. So, look, I don't expect the Cowboys to lose against the Cardinals. I would expect them to win at home. But can the Cardinals knock them off 100%? They've done it in the past. So I'm not taking anything for granted. But if you're asking me, should they win? Yes, they should beat the Cardinals at home. Yes, they should beat the Raiders on the road. Keep going. Jonathan, we talked about that. To only give one target to Ferguson. Look, I did note they were covering Fergie. They were blanketing Fergie in the flats. That little out that they like to do with Fergie where Dak rolls out to his right and Fergie gets into the flats, they were blanketing that. So they did take away a lot of the short stuff that they like to run with Fergie. Fergie has not been, and you look at the average every time he catches the football, he's not a guy that is racking up yards downfield. I know he had a screen for a touchdown earlier on in the season, but you look at the whole body of work, Fergie is not a guy that is catching and running downfield a ton. He's just not. And so I think when you take away Fergie in the short routes and you force him to go downfield, maybe the Broncos figured out a bit of a blueprint here because they pretty much took away everything that the Cowboys like to do with Jake Ferguson underneath. They took away all of the flat routes. They took away pretty much all the short routes that Dak likes to be able to throw to Fergie as a little bit of a security blanket. I hope that the rest of the league doesn't pick up on that because to this point, Fergie has not been a guy that's been involved a lot down the field. I mean, even like I said, on that screenplay where he racked up the yards after the catch, you're catching the ball 1-2 yards from the line of scrimmage. We'll see what happens. I really hope that this is not going to be a trend. Teams taking away this short game and Fergie getting one target, man. Just can't happen. Just can't happen. We keep rolling. Yup. Dallas Cowboys for life, Tammy. I'm with you. Bro was getting locked up, 100%. 100% Fergie was getting locked up. Devin, good game, man. Thanks for stopping by. Broncos got a squad. I don't think there's any denying it. They had a little hiccup against the Giants. Still got the win. I mean, isn't that the mark of a good team? You definitely don't even have your best game, and you still find a way to win. That was an impressive comeback. I mean, Giants totally melted. Probably should not have lost that game, but credit to the Broncos. They've got a good young quarterback. They've got a great coach, Sean Payton. Hate him, love him. He's a great coach. He is a great coach. Would have liked for the Cowboys to have picked him up, honestly. Not that I'm a big shoddy detractor at this point, but I would have loved for the Cowboys to have picked up Sean Payton. That would have been great, but would have never worked. I don't think Jerry Jones and Sean Payton would have jibed. Payton, we know, loves to have control of the roster, something Jerry and Stephen Jones would never want to give up. Appreciate all y'all. I don't even think I'm angry at how bad this defense is, more amazed at how inept it is, seemingly all the time. Yep. And it doesn't help that he got all the injuries, but even when healthy, this team has not looked great on the defensive side of the ball. Cowboys finished 8-9. Well, they can't finish 8-9 because of the tie, but they could finish 8-8-1. They could finish 7-9-1. I think at this point, Cowboys probably are going to go 8-8-1. I think they get to 8-1. I think 4 wins, definitely something. 5 more wins. I could see them getting to 5 more. I think they're going to be 5-4-1 after the Raiders game. And then you've got to win at that point. You're 10 games deep. You've got to go 3-4 to get to 8-1. I think they can go 3-4. I think they'll at least get that. Jets are the best team in the league. I needed that laugh, Joey. Appreciate you. Cowboys D will take us to the 7th pick. Maybe. The Cowboys, that's always their MO, though. They're mediocre just enough to not help us with a big draft pick. They're just like bad. They're just not bad enough, but they're also not good enough. And so we always end up getting this mid-first round pick. Always. Yeah, you're probably right on that, Brian, but I still say what I said is probably factual. I don't think it would have ever worked with Jerry and Sean and all of the control that Sean Payton likes to have over the roster. We keep rolling. Defense can't stop anything, Abraham, 100%. Better defense. I would love to go get Max Crosby, and I do think getting a better pass rush, because I've heard a couple of detractors of the Crosby trade basically say, like, we don't need Max. We need secondary help. I mean, I think you got to understand, if you go get Max Crosby, he is going to get that ball out a lot quicker by rushing the quarterback. And maybe some people argue that is where we miss Micah Parsons. I still think you've got to solve the problem of the running game. The Cowboys have not been able to stop the run very well this year, but getting a pass rusher like Crosby, who ultimately cheaper than Micah Parsons, and you still are going to probably be able to keep a first-round pick, nonetheless, I think that going to get Max Crosby would help this secondary out a lot. When you've got a beast like Crosby consistently hunting down the quarterback, it is going to help the secondary. Because that quarterback does not have all day long to sit back there and pick apart your defense. And that is what Bo Nix had today. Bo Nix, he literally could have set up a lazy boy back there and just chilled out for about 10 to 15 seconds. I think he probably would have gone untouched. That's how bad it was. So definitely Max Crosby would be a huge fan of that. I think it would be great to go out and get some secondary help as well. But being able to have a consistently elite pass rush, that is going to do wonders for your secondary. Keep going. 49ers getting Max. Of course, there's going to be a huge contingency of teams wanting to go get Max Crosby. Wasting Dak's best year with this defense. They've lost. Abraham, look, I mean, Dak didn't do himself a lot of favors today, but I would agree this is a great start. Everybody, it's tough to go perfect all 17 games. But, yeah, this was a stinker from Dak. Chicago, stinker. This one, yeah, not good. Dak was not great today on the road. We keep rolling. Appreciate all you guys. We're about 48 minutes deep into the show. We'll be going about 12 more minutes or so. Hit it right around the hour mark. Go watch some Sunday Night Football. Go pick up a pizza. Have a good rest of the evening. That's the plan. Try and flush this one out, but we got about 10 minutes left in the show. We're going to preview the Cardinals matchup a little bit. Cardinals were on a bye this week, I believe. Is that right? I think so. And Kyler Murray out with an injury the week before. So at this point, you're facing Cardinals coming off a bye. That absolutely is something to note. Teams typically coming off a bye do play better, but for some, it's not as much of a factor. But you have a couple of weeks to prep for Dallas. I think a lot depends and rides on Kyler Murray's status. Is he going to be healthy? And if he does play, how healthy is he? Kyler Murray, a big part of his game, being able to scramble. The injury, by the way, let me look this up. I'm not sure what the injury is. I have him on my fantasy team, actually. A mid-foot sprain. Okay, mid-foot sprain. So, yeah, if he does play, you would expect him to be maybe a little bit limited with his mobility. Look, I know they could probably give him that magic shot, and maybe for a game he'll feel all right. But foot sprain for a guy like Kyler Murray, Definitely limiting. Garrett, this has got to be Waterboy, right? We suck again. I love it, brother. Classic Waterboy quote, man. You got to laugh at some point. And look, this Cowboy season really hasn't been all that bad. The defense has been pretty terrible. I think the defense has been all that bad. But look, you're 3-4-1 at this point. You have an opportunity to go 5-4-1 over the next couple of weeks. We'll take it. We'll take it. You win some, you lose some. Good game. Frederick Clayton, appreciate you, man. Thank you for the comment. Why is it defense fault when they lose only? JFA, I know that you're probably just coming in to the show, but I've said multiple times today, and I tweeted about it during the game. If you want some of the in-game tweets, follow me over on X. I'm on Threads. I'm on just about everything. So if you want some in-game stuff and some in-game content, head on over there. But I texted out, and I told a couple of my buddies who I was watching the game with as well, you know, the offense going 3 and out, the offense not being able to punch it in from 1st and goal at the 1-yard line, the interceptions, not getting points before the half, not draining clock before the half, and letting Denver have the ball back when you were getting the ball back in the second half. All those things were huge. I don't think by any means you can put this game exclusively on the defense. Yes, they gave up 40-plus points, but the offense did them no favors. The game easily could have been 20-20 going to half. Easily could have been 20-20. Ricky, appreciate the gift, man. Thank you so much. Duke and Gus, appreciate the follow. It could have been 20-20 going into halftime if you would have played that sequence right before the half. What did they have? Right before half, they had like a 2nd and 1, and they ended up not being able to convert, and then they don't go for it. And I get it. You're deep in your own half. You don't want to turn it over and give the Broncos a short field, but you had a 2nd and 1 right before halftime. You get stuffed on 2nd, and then you throw it on 3rd down to Turpin, and it almost gets picked off there. This is all right before halftime we're talking about. I absolutely am on the side of you can't just blame the defense today. Dwayne, appreciate the follow, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, brother. Broncos are our true daddy. Well, you know what? Today they were. There's no way around it. But I do think Cowboys are going to be 5-4-1 after their game in Las Vegas. Not even watching, Brian. I'm going to have to check this out. You know what? I'll pull up the YouTube TV right now, man. I'll pull up a little Sunday Night Football right now. I know the game hasn't started yet, but we'll check it out. Hey, John, what's good, man? Yeah, we've talked about it, brother. Defense is terrible. When you give Bo Nix that long to throw, it's not going to go well. You give any quarterback that much time to throw. Like I said, bro could have set up a TV tray and TV dinner, man. Probably eating one of those all the time he had. Ridiculous. That's why I'd love to see them go get a pass rusher. And look, I get that a lot of people are going to clap back. Why did you trade Micah Parsons? Well, you trade Micah Parsons because of how expensive he is. You go get a guy in Max Crosby that would be cheaper than Micah Parsons in what he's getting paid right now. So I get that the uninformed are going to say, why would you go get a pass rusher? You had one. You go get one that's cheaper. You go get one that's cheaper. And I do think that they're going to be in play for that. Trade deadline is coming up. I would love to see them go get Max. I think it would help out a ton with the secondary issues and injuries that they've been dealing with. Brian, 100%. Dak throwing that deep ball when you could have gotten points. This was after you let the Broncos score right before the half, right? The Cowboys still had like 39 seconds left. You had a chance to get 7 or 8 yards and give Aubrey a chance at least the NFL record. I don't know if it would have been a 70-yarder, depending on how much they would have gotten. But Dak's decision, with 39 seconds left, the second failed attempt to score right before halftime, to throw the ball deep there, dude, all you needed was to get 3 points. Zach, never have I said this year that this is our year. I know there's some Cowboys fans out there that do the shtick, if you will. I'm not really a shtick guy with this is our year. Of course, I want to see the Cowboys do well, But I can't say I've ever felt like this team was going to be a Super Bowl team. And, if Cowboys Nation wants to hate me for that, so be it. But I've never at any point this year said, yeah, this is a Super Bowl team. I made the point with the defense. I don't think anybody looked at this defense on paper and said, yeah, this is going to be an elite defense in the league. They were missing too many pieces on paper. This is a good point. Dak was under a lot of duress. He was under a lot of duress. And the O-line had multiple penalties that were very costly at different spots in this game. They had one down on the goal line, right? That prevented the Cowboys from getting 7. They had 1st and goal at the 1. Pivotal 3rd down play. You have a false start. I get it. You're playing at Mile High. Yeah, the offensive line did not help. Antonio, I just think going to get Crosby, again, I know some people are going to say, well, aren't you really needing secondary help? And the answer is yes. I think you got to find a way to get creative and get some secondary help. But again, if you have an elite pass rusher like Crosby, he is going to force the quarterback out of the pocket. He's going to force the quarterback to make hurried throws and hurried decisions, and that only helps the secondary. Okay, Brian, I'm seeing these jerseys right now, and yeah, I'm not a big fan. Not a big fan of the Steelers jerseys, but it ain't hard to hate on the Steelers when you're a Cowboys fan, am I right? It ain't hard. Now, the Packers jerseys, those are clean. Those are clean. I like the whites. The Packers jerseys are ugly. I can't ride with the Steelers jerseys. The Packers jerseys I like. Packers, I'm a yes. Steelers, I'm a no for the jerseys. Even with Micah, this defense was not going to do much. He'd get double teamed. The secondary will give up the big plays. I do think you've got Kenny Clark, and you've still got other guys too. You've got Osa. You've got a guy like Crosby added into that mix. I think it is going to work out better than if you just had Parsons. But I definitely feel like Parsons, in and of itself, if you just keep him, I don't know that this defense is going to be a whole lot better. Maybe a little bit. Tamale, I don't think that Eberflus has done great this year. Definitely would not say that. I do think he's not working with a full deck. Matt Helmets, I can go with you on. The jersey itself, though, for the Steelers, whoo! Hot tamale, yeah, load of crap, am I right? All in. Antonio, I definitely think getting Blue more reps would be helpful. You get Blue more reps. Next year, who knows what's going to happen with Javonte? You'd love to have Javonte around next year, and I think there is a path to get Javonte Williams back in a Cowboys uni in 2026. But if you get Blue more reps now, I think that is only going to help you out and make you feel better. If it does go awry with Javonte, it is only going to help next year. So, and I'm biased, by the way, with Javonte, former Texas Longhorn. I'm biased with Jaden Blue, former Texas Longhorn that he is. I absolutely would be a fan of him getting more touches. It's a great 1-2 punch, Caden. Agreed. Good to see you, man. Penalties were a killer. I think it was 80 yards. Dude, Max is $98 million per year. $98 million per year. Just Trav, do the work on that, baby. He's not $98 million a year. What are we talking about? Who do I got winning the World Series? You hate to say it, but I do think the Dodgers are going to win it. And I said that. I think Dodgers in 6. And that might be being generous. I really thought maybe Blue Jays would pull it off, but was not meant to be last night. Williams definitely is a tank. Hawaiian Girl, appreciate the comment. I would love to have Javonte back next year, but I don't think there's anything wrong with getting Jaden Blue some more carries. Keep Javonte fresh, and if you got to ride with Jaden Blue next year, you're not coming into that with him totally green, not really knowing the offense. I'd love to get Jaden Blue some more reps. Look, CD, to me, I think has really been pretty solid this year. There's no denying that the CD Pickens tandem has worked really, really well. I'm not saying that CD has been perfect, and I know you're talking about demeanor. You're going beyond the X's and O's inside the white lines here. Has CD, been the best receiver in football? No, but I do think the CD Pickens tandem is one that I'd love to see more of. I don't know what's going to be in the cards next year with Pickens being a free agent, but there are ways they can get creative, I think, to keep this offense intact. My biggest fear is at what expense, right? The defense being terrible again? I don't know. Yeah, 44, I'm with you. It feels like you've already wasted a lot of CD Lamb. Pat, I don't know about Belichick, man. I think you're almost looking back on not hiring Belichick as a blessing in disguise. I think there were a number of Cowboys fans that would have been okay with Bill coming to Big D, but I do not think a lot of people at this point with what's happened at North Carolina are, pining over not getting Bill Parcells. Keep rolling. John, look, it was not the Cowboys' day today. We'll say that. Get rid of Dak coming from a Broncos fan. You just can't with the contract. You can't. You cannot get rid of Dak. And I think that the Cowboys have a big decision to make when he does come a free agent again. I don't know what they're going to do. I think right now, though, you're stuck with Dak. I think next year, not this coming draft, not the 2026 draft, maybe in the 27 draft, you draft your quarterback of the future. But at this point, I think you're riding with Dak for the next 2 seasons. Yeah, look, I'm with this. If you can keep this together, we're talking about Pickens, we're talking about Lamb, Ferguson, Javonte Williams. I think Dak is going to be just fine. I think he's going to be just fine. Look, can you ever give Dak all those things plus a good defense? I don't know. Win one, lose one. It is frustrating. I do think we get back-to-back, though, playing the Cardinals and the Raiders, Antonio. But you know me, brother. Always going to be glass half full, but Cowboys should beat the Cardinals at home. They're a different team at home than they are on the road, and I think that they beat the Raiders on Monday Night Football coming out of the bye week. Carlos, I'm with you. I really do think Dak's going to be okay. The defense did not play great today. Dak didn't play great today, but you're on the road. You're in a tough environment. This is a really good Broncos team. I don't think we are accentuating that enough. I don't think we're underlining that enough. This is a really good Broncos team. I mean, they're 6-2 for a reason. They're playing at home. They're very well coached. Their quarterback had all day long to throw today. This isn't a game you melt down over. It is really unfortunate looking back, though, that you lost to Carolina. You easily could be sitting in a much better position right now. I mean, you could be potentially, 6-3-1 after the Vegas game. If you don't lose to Carolina, Cowboys could be sitting at 6-3-1 had they not lost to Carolina. I know I'm assuming maybe a little bit too much. I'm not taking Arizona. I'm not taking Vegas for granted, but come on now. I think the Cowboys should win those 2 games, and had you beaten Carolina and taken care of business, you could be 6-3-1. It's a little disappointing. Look, I hate to say it, Hot Tamale, I know y'all can't see this on TikTok, but it is a Go Steelers night. And I hate saying that as a Cowboys fan, but if the Packers lose, that only helps us out. That only helps out our draft pick. So, yes, I am cheering, much like you, Hot Tamale, for any team that is playing the Green Bay Packers. John, I'm with you. Tackling was horrific. The haters want you to be mad. Hey, M, yeah, appreciate the comment. I mean, it's a lot of trolling after the Cowboys lose. None of these people will show back up when we win. Maybe a couple. But none of these people are going to show back up when we win. None of them. Sorry for your loss, Tristan. It happens, brother. It happens. Denver's a tough team. I ain't going to cry too much tonight over losing to Denver in Denver. It's definitely not like losing to, look, Carolina. I'm just going to call it out. The Carolina loss was way more hurtful than this one. Carolina loss was a lot more hurtful than this one was. Losing to Denver since 1995. Yeah, I don't really recall a lot of Denver victories. I'm not going to lie. They just showed the one when Romo and Manning were squaring off. Romo throws the pick on the final drive. Denver kicks the field goal to win the game. And we have not beat the Broncos a ton. Rangers, Cowboys, and Mavericks, man. Longhorns, throw them in there as well. Does Prescott have an ego? I mean, look, I'm sure he does a little bit. You kind of got to have a little ego, a little swag to be a quarterback in this league, especially for the Cowboys. So I'm sure there's maybe a little bit there, but I think everything I've heard is Dak's a pretty good leader. And that's like the one thing that he's always been consistently good at. Jordan, yeah, it's looking that way right now, isn't it? At least we beat them in the Super Bowl. Thank you. Well, can I say this? At least he doesn't have a Patrick Mahomes ego. It's hard for me to judge. I don't know these guys personally. I think you got to have a little bit of ego being a quarterback in this league. But at the same time, I don't think that's the problem right now. He loves throwing to the other teams. He hadn't done it a lot this year, Joe. Today was not his best day, though. They do need a defense, Tony, 100%. It was a good game. Just wasn't Dak's good game. Cowboys had the best offense, but tonight we looked like the worst. Yeah, the offense was not good tonight. Big reason they lost. Big reason. You do a great job, bro. Even though I'm a Texans and Astros, you're really good at this win or lose. Hey, TL, appreciate you, man. Look, rain or shine, right? There's a lot of fair weather out there. I mean, not just Cowboys fans. There's a lot of fair weather. A lot of fair weather creators, too. Like, I show up even when it's not ideal. And losing 44-24, whatever it was today, is not ideal. But you know what? Just die hard, man. Rain or shine, win or lose, we're here. We're here. It's what I've always come with, whatever the sport is. Mavericks, Longhorns, Rangers, Cowboys. We've watched some epic wins. Last night, we watched the Longhorns overcome a 17-point deficit, win the game. We've watched some walk-off home runs, but we have watched some devastating losses here on the live. It is what it is. It's part of it, man. Longhorns was definitely a great game, man. Hey, Jordan, all good, brother. Good game for you guys. Broncos got a squad. Nelson, they've been saying that, though. We don't win 6 games, so let's see. For them to only win 5 games, you think they're going to go, let's see, at this point, they're 3-4-1. They've got 11 games left. You think they're going to go 2-9? You think they're going to go 2-9? That's what it would take to not win 6 games. I don't think that that's going to happen. Can we finally stop the Dak MVP talk now? No. I think he's still going to be in the mix. It depends on how the rest of the games go. I think Dak is definitely going to be up there. The number 1 offense in football, don't know if that's going to change after today's game, but yeah, I definitely think that the Dak MVP talk is still alive and well, but we're all prisoners of the moment. And clearly, after a game like this, you're not thinking Dak's MVP. But all it takes is one monster game from Dak, and everybody's going to be saying that again. Carlos, appreciate you, man. Look, I got a lot of respect for Broncos fans and for the Broncos franchise. I enjoy watching the Broncos. I really do. I think that they have got a good team, a great defense, good young quarterback. I like Sean Payton. Like Sean Payton a lot. Wish that he would have become the Cowboys coach. So much respect, man. Cowboys aren't as bad as everybody makes them out to be. They're just not. But Unfortunately, they just cannot win the big games, man. They can't win the big games. I mean, do you want to consider the Commanders game a big game? I don't know. I think that the Commanders, without all their weapons, you take it with a little bit of a grain of salt. By the way, Rodgers against his former team, man, this is going to be fun. I'm excited to watch this. I really do hope that he beats up on the Packers tonight. I mean, it only helps the Cowboys. I hate cheering for the Steelers, but at this point, you got to hope that the Packers lose as many games as possible. Get that draft pick up. Still cheer for the Cowboys over Kansas City. I don't know. That would be an interesting debate. How many people would cheer? Obviously not Cowboys fans. How many non-Cowboys fans would cheer for the Cowboys over KC? What happened to Ferguson? That's what we were saying, man. One target for Fergie is not acceptable, but they were blanketing him, man. They gave him nothing. User 673, appreciate you, man. Yeah, that was a tough watch. No way around it. My prediction, by the way, I know some of y'all are throwing out, like, how are the Cowboys going to finish? I do think that they're going to get to 8-8-1. I think it will not be a losing season. I don't know if you can call 8-8-1 a winning season, even though technically I do think it bumps you into a winning percentage. I just think Cowboys are playing too many teams in division that they have an opportunity to beat. The Cardinals, the Raiders, I think they could probably beat the Vikings. I know the Vikings are on the schedule a little bit later. I just think there's a path to 8 wins for sure. If you beat the Cardinals and the Raiders, you'll be at 5-4-1. You got to go 3-4 down the stretch to win 8 games at that point. I think they get to 8 wins. 9 wins would be phenomenal. 9-7-1, that would be phenomenal. I think they at least get to 8. Appreciate the follow. Chrome, thanks so much. Appreciate all you guys that have followed. GLM21, appreciate you. Yeah, look, it's never fun after these games, man. And I'll tell you what, I'm getting ready to go on, getting ready to do the live today. And, Broncos score the touchdown to put them up like 24 points. And it's hard. I don't always like getting on and doing these after a loss, but it's a part of it, man. Part of being a fan. You have these incredible highs and you have low lows. Not a lot of shame in losing to Denver at home, at Mile High, but this one still hurts. By the way, it looks like Brian Kelly, I just got a notification, Brian Kelly out at LSU. Jeez. A&M's a good team, man. I know it hasn't gone well with Brian Kelly this year. They're going to pay a $50-something million buyout. That's crazy. Brian Kelly out at LSU. Do you think we need to go after Max Crosby? Yes. Cowboys will not win 6 games. I don't think they're going to go 2-9, brother. But hey, you come back and give me a ton of crap if you're right. Come back and give me a ton of crap if they go 2-9 down the stretch. I do not think that's going to happen. I don't think there's any way that happens. 2-9 down the stretch. I think the Cowboys will be all right. I think they'll get to 8. And if they really play their cards right, maybe 9-7-1. I hope GP comes back, man. I hope Pickens comes back. Jake, appreciate the comment. Yeah, Pickens, I think they're going to find a way to bring back and run it back with this offense. I think they see the vision with the offense. I think you want to try and keep this band together. You've got to improve the defense through the draft. Have to. And maybe through some trades, but I think they're going to do whatever they can to keep this offense together. 6-10-1, Dirk. Yeah, I'm not there. At worst, I think they go 7-9-1. I think that's absolute worst. I think that it's going to be somewhere between 7 and 9 wins. I know maybe that's a little bit of an easy way out given that range of 3, but I don't think it's worse than 7, and I don't necessarily think it's better than 9. Bronco defense, top 5 defense. Dak was due to have a bad game. Harvey, that's kind of what we're saying, man. Like, appreciate the comment. I absolutely agree with you. This is a really good Broncos defense playing at home. It was always going to be a tough game. 7 wins. Richie, I'm saying 8. I'm saying 8, Richie. All right, y'all. I'm about to get off for the night. Go get a pizza. go relax a little bit, flush this game out my system, hopefully watch the Steelers beat the Packers to help the Cowboys improve their draft pick that they got in the Micah Parsons trade. That's the plan. Antonio, I'm going to say that the Eagles game could definitely be a dub. I think that second win is going to be tough, man. You know, what version of the Chiefs are we getting? You know, Rashee Rice coming back has been huge. I would definitely think that the Cowboys get one of those three. I think two is going to be tough, brother. I'm not going to lie to you. Not going to lie at all. If Dak had a defense, he'd be the runaway MVP. It's possible. Brian, 100%. Tony, appreciate the laugh, brother. You're not far off. Wemby is he's a beast, man. Wemby's a beast. That's what I got to go split screen with. The Mavericks are playing right now. I just got a notification, 32-32. Dallas tied with Toronto after the first quarter. Or excuse me, Toronto. Don't pronounce the second T. For whatever reason, that was a huge thing on social media before the World Series. Toronto, no second T. That's how you know, man. They're a little starved for content when that's a big deal. All right, man. What do we got? Look at the Aggies winning games, firing coaches. Touche. Yeah, I think they are going to keep the offense together, Brian. I think they're going to find a way. You keep Pickens, you keep Lamb, figure out a way to keep Javonte, Fergie, all those guys. I think you got to keep the band together. Fire the D coordinator right now. I don't think they will. You got to get better defensively. Mike, appreciate the follow, man. Thank you so much. Hey, we're about to take off, y'all. We'll be back on Wednesday for our Texas Rangers offseason show. And by the way, if you're not a fan of some of the other teams that I cover on the show, you're always welcome. Come talk some trash. We can always talk stuff going on around each individual league in and of itself. But Rangers offseason show on Wednesday. We will do Texas Longhorns against Vandy at home. First game in a month that they played at DKR, and it's going to be a big one. Vanderbilt coming to Austin. So we'll be back on Saturday during the fourth quarter and during the post game. And then Sunday, next week, Cardinals coming to Big D. That'll be the plan. We'll go live fourth quarter again for the Dallas-Arizona game. And we'll also be here post game as well. So we hope to see you at one of those shows. We'll probably have a couple videos out, put out a couple of TikToks along the way. Not sure what I got cooking up quite yet, but look, it'll get here eventually. Thank you so much for your support of the show. I appreciate everybody that followed today, all the comments today. You guys help keep the show fresh. Means so much. Let's flush this one out of our system, and let's move on to next week. On to Arizona, man. On to Arizona. The Cal-Raleigh comps do get a little bit quieter during the football season, John. Absolutely. But, yeah, have a good night, buddy. Good to see you as always. Good to see you as always. Totally cool. Yeah, offense definitely can keep it together. They got to get better through the draft for defense. Maybe sign a free agent. I know that's going to be tough if you pay everybody on offense. It's probably going to be draft or trades, honestly. All right, y'all. Are we firing Nico yet? It's getting close. I think it's getting close. Why did they not let Milton pass after his touchdown? I think they just wanted to get out of Dodge, man. Appreciate all you guys. Hey, have a good rest of your Sunday night. Enjoy Sunday Night Football. And we will see you hopefully on Wednesday for our Texas Rangers offseason show. And in between with a couple of TikToks getting put out over the next couple of days as well. Y'all have a good one. And as I always say to end every show, God bless and go Cowboys.